Okay, I'd like to start by asking you a question. The film depicts a character who's dealing with aging, yet it's set in this really haunting, beautiful location. Maybe you could talk a little bit about the choice of the location.
Well, the choice of location, it was very early a part of the film. I mean, I didn't want, obviously, a postcard landscape. I wanted, I needed a landscape that would be haunted, a landscape that would, where somehow time would be inscribed, and of course that drew me to Switzerland and to the specific valley of Engadine. Because of course it's landscapes, it's mountains, it's paths that have been painted, walked by writers, poets, painters, and it's all embodied in the short film by Arnold Fang that is integrated into the film, because it's when you watch mountaintops and clouds passing, it gives you a sense of eternity. It's something that never moves. But then you have this film which was shot like a century ago almost, and in that film you have inscribed the passing of time, and it somehow embodies all the ghosts that inhabit that valley. So it was very important for me that in this film that deals with time, with the passing of time, and how we deal with it however we can, that it was also a dimension that was present in how we watched the landscapes around the characters.
Okay. And the film was written with Juliette in mind for it, but did it change at all once you cast Chloe and Kristen for it?
The film was written absolutely with Juliette in mind. I mean, it's written based on her, based on whatever relationship we've had through the years. We've known each other for a very long time. We started together, meaning I wrote the screenplay for the movie that basically made her famous, and we're talking like 30 years ago. And since then we've had parallel careers. We have only worked once in 2007, a movie called Summer Hours, but our careers could have been or should have been intertwined. They ended up being parallel, so it took us a long time to finally come together and make this film, which was basically the film missing in both our filmographies. But then I think it would have turned out a completely different film. If it would have been different actresses in the other parts. At some point I discussed with Kristen Stewart the option that she would be playing Joanne, and at some point Mia Wasikowska was supposed to be Valentine. It would have been a completely different story. The dynamics within the film would have been completely different. That's why I often consider my screenplays a little bit like plays, in a sense that a stage play can be interpreted in many different ways. It just depends on the cast, it depends on the directors, and it can have completely different dynamics. So I thought I ended up really surprising myself when I cast Chloe in the part of Joanne, and Kristen, who somehow was unexpected in the part of Valentine. It just completely changed the dynamic, and to me it made the film alive. It brought its own energy to the story.
And we have time for a few questions with the audience. If you raise your hand, I can get to you. I can repeat the question if it's short. The question is about how did he create the chemistry between the actresses?
No, it was much better than that.
I said it had to be short.
Yeah, no, I understand. No, thank you for your question. I totally understand what you mean. It's, you know, I think that Kristen Stewart is amazing. I mean, she's a very, very smart person. She's you know, I did not really know her. I met her like a couple of times. I had no idea what would happen once she would be on set with Juliette. I mean, Juliette I've known forever, so you know, but I had no idea. So basically, it was all based on my trust to Kristen, but also on her trust in me. I mean, you know, she kind of she doesn't. Well, maybe she does need that kind of part, but I mean, you know, it's all of a sudden, you know, you send that weird French screenplay, you know, which is not very much like the stuff she's been doing recently, and so on and so forth. So, I think that I think it's kind of brave of her to go in that direction, to try this. So I kind of trusted that. I thought that the fact that she would make that step in my direction meant that she had in her whatever I expected, and there was potential for something to happen between her and Juliette. But you never know. It's only when you're on this. It's only on the first day on the set that you actually know what's going to happen. In this film, we shot fairly. I mean, we tried to keep the chronology as much as we could. So we started with the scene on the train at the beginning of the film. That was like the first day. I mean, like we were shooting in Germany, and Kristen was just like right out of the plane the previous day or something, and instantly I understood that she was there for the right reasons. I mean, she was there because she was interested in the part, she was happy to work with me, but basically she wanted to work with Juliette. She had a lot of admiration for Juliette, and I think that she felt that the way Juliette had handled her career, the freedom she had in the way she chose her part, the way she moved within the frame the frame of cinema, was something she thought was exciting, was something she was aiming at, and she wanted to understand how Juliette functioned. So I think that she was looking up to Juliette, and Juliette was extremely flattered. I mean, she was very happy. So it created, and she wanted to surprise Kristen. She wanted to be worthy of Kristen's admiration or something like that. So instead of having any kind of rivalry, there was some kind of an emulation. There was there was really a very moving human dynamic in their relationship.
Well, let's see if there's anyone else, and then if not, I'm going to give other people a chance first. Is there anyone else? Right over here. Sorry.
In your mind, what happens now?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Okay, we'll give you one more chance.
You know, I have like no message. I think that movies are about questions. They are not about answers. You know, everybody is smart enough to figure out his own answers. Movies are just about raising the questions. Hopefully, they are interesting questions. They are worthwhile of the audience's attention. but rarely much more than that. I mean, at least the kind of movies I make. It's not so much a movie about aging. It's more about it's a movie about knowing that there are chapters in life, and once in a while you need to adapt to the way the world is changing around you. You have to adapt to being a different person, because people age differently now. You know, it's when you are Juliette's age, you're not exactly an old actress. 40 years ago, 50 years ago, you were an older actress. Now, it doesn't really work like that. I think that Juliette has most of her great work to come. I mean, she's not like a spent actress or whatever. On the contrary. So what is important is to learn that at every age in life, you have to find within yourself the energy to just turn a new leaf and become a new person. And of course, it's much more cruel for actresses. Time passes because it's you know, it becomes inscribed on your face, and you know, and the camera is scrutinizing your face, and it's blown up, you know, to the size of a movie screen. Luckily, we don't have to do. Us common mortals don't have to deal with that, but we actresses do. And but then the thing is that also there are privileges in being an actress. Is that also you can one day deal with the pains, the suffering of aging, but the next day you move on and you deal with another part which deals with the opposite, with how you get younger, how you escape time or something. You know, an actress is someone who is also open to any new possibilities, new plays, new parts, new ideas, and it's an actress is someone who can be a different person the next day. But again, this is not so much a movie about being an actress. It's more of an homage to the best part of what acting is about, which is looking within yourself to understand fellow humans. You know, an actress, an actor is someone who has to be able to find within himself the understanding of the pains or the joys of other persons, of fellow humans. Again, and we don't have to do that. I mean, you know, we have our own joys, our own pains. We don't have to identify and live with a different identity. I mean, you know, and actresses do that non-stop. So ultimately, it's very much about someone trying to understand emotions that are deeply universal, to find within herself feelings that she can share with anybody, with everybody.
And unfortunately, we're out of time right now. But I'd like to thank everyone for joining us, and I'd like to thank Olivier for... Thank you.